Okay, we can resolve. Wow. Yeah, man.
Gets you in the mood, doesn't it? It's like nylon strings just immediately sort of... I'm on holiday.
What was all that?
We've got margaritas.
I was somewhere else there.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's brilliant.
Sunsets and all that jazz.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
As you can hear, no steel strings today.
Yes. Classical guitars.
Yeah.
We don't really have very...
We don't talk about them so much.
But we don't. But there's only a few in the range, right?
Yeah. I mean, considering it's a sort of Spanish name, we should have more, I guess.
I guess. There is something in that. But these are kind of hybrid, though.
Yeah.
They're not your standard.
And these are our best sellers. So, you know, they're quite different from standard classicals. Standard classicals, they're 12 frets. They've got a really wide nut.
Right.
Usually the action's very high deliberately because, you know, pressure on the string to get sort of the sound that classical players want. It's a flat fingerboard. So the fingerboard is flat, which, you know, arguably makes it harder to play.
Yeah, I must admit, I
struggle
like that. I have a very limited experience, apart from when I was a kid and I had one.
Yeah.
You know,
and everybody starts there,
and they were
right?
really difficult to learn on because, as you say, they're super wide,
yeah,
flat.
they've got like a cricket bat sort of neck.
Yeah.
We didn't, this is not our idea. I don't know who came out with this, but certainly a long time ago. Hybrids, fusions, whatever people call them, is a sort of took the pain away for steel string players to play nylon. So you get all that nylon sound. They're easy to play, and they're easy to play because the nut width is 48 mil instead of 52. So
right.
it's, you know, it's quite a bit narrower, which obviously string space and all that sort of stuff. It's also got a radius fingerboard on here, in fact, it's the same radius as our guitars. It's just easy to play. It's more familiar. They have a 14th neck joint instead of a 12.
But you were telling me something about the internal neck joint.
Classicals or classical building is different to steel string. So inside here, you know, we always have a neck block, which is like where the neck kind of fits into the guitar, which is a really strong part of the instrument because obviously the instrument kind of just wants to fold in, right? Because there's not much pressure between these 2 points. Classical construction historically is different, and it's something called a Spanish heel. So inside here you'll see a sort of a curved big block that comes along the sort of back here, further than a standard sort of neck block. The difference is that block, the sides, they fit into that block. So they come in and they actually go in. So they kind of lock, so it kind of locks in. Whereas steel string is a dovetail. So it's kind of dropped in, it's slotted in with a dovetail joint. This is from the Cádiz range, which we went down to Spain, worked with some luthiers. I got to understand a little bit more about classical building and bracing and all the sort of great classical, you know, right from Torres and Ramirez and Hauser and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of thought into bracing of classical guitars because there's so much less tension than steel string.
Of course, because of
the strings.
Yeah.
And getting volume and response out of, and the sort of volume response that especially concert classical players need is completely different to what a steel string person is requiring. So we went down there, I went to a couple of shows, met some great people, and we got to know about classical bracing and some of the history of it. And we designed the neck. These are beautiful neck profiles on our classicals. We designed the neck down there. And we designed Cádiz series near the city of Cádiz, which is in Andalusia. And then we went into production. This is the Artist series, AC65. Again, it's a hybrid, so you've got cedar.
Cedar, which is traditional, right?
Really traditional, yeah. I mean, you know, spruce is used a lot as well, but they really suit, you know, that sort of softness of cedar and that more sort of warm, instant, early response really suits the nylon strings, I think. But this is more of a sharper attack. It's Sitka and walnut. Certainly cuts through very nicely, but that's the difference. So this one has got a dovetail, which some classical luthiers, I think, some players will shoot you for using a pick.
Yeah, of course.
It's like a pick.
Yeah, I'm a bass player, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
You know, people are very particular about certain things that you do or don't do with classicals, I think. But for us, I built some Spanish heel guitars and some dovetail guitars, and the dovetails sounded great.
Yeah.
More efficient for us. They sound arguably better the way we make them anyway.
Why though? What's the difference between the kind of tonality that's being? Is it a volume thing? Is it?
You know, there's lots. The vibration goes all around the instrument, right up the neck, through the headstock. Arguably, sound comes out there too. Some people have mic'd up and proved that, but you know, there's certainly activity going through the whole instrument. The neck joint, what it does is the design impacts the transfer of energy between the body and the neck, or what you're doing on the neck. So, you know, it's got to be super tight. It's got to be super strong, obviously, to handle all the tension, less on these. But basically, that's what neck joint design is about, is transfer of energy between, strength and transfer of energy between the body and the neck. The Spanish heel was very traditional, probably early 1800s, something like that. And maybe even came from, I don't know, maybe lute design or something, I have no idea, but I'm sure somebody will let us know where Spanish heel came from. But for us, we're an acoustic maker. We've nailed that
Dovetail joints
what we come to with. And we built classicals for years with Spanish heels, years and years, and we were very, very proud of doing that tradition, and we worked it really well. Got a very sort of nice looking Spanish heel. For us anyway, we were sort of felt as though we were getting a better sound on the instrument with a dovetail. Not much in it, but when you compare that to all of the work needed in a like a steel string factory to change efficiencies and stuff, it certainly worked for us.
Because it would have an impact upon price and all sorts of stuff, wouldn't it? When you have to,
it's, you know, once you start slowing the line down, it affects things. But it's interesting, like when you say I'm a bass player, but you put that in your hand and then you go immediately to like A minor, A minor, E and D minor.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know what I mean? It's
harmonic minor. Yeah. It makes you feel like it is a very it's like an evocative kind of sound, doesn't it? It's as soon as you start to hear all this imagery is conjured up.
Yeah.
It is quite. He said something about like it being romantic.
It's romantic sounding, you know. It's like and just loves the minor keys.
One's like a wash of reverb in my mind, you know, and
even jazz and even country artists have used nylon strings, so they are nice to play. And
well, didn't we discuss about the silken steels on my Parlor?
On your Parlor,
which I don't have now. I certainly really enjoyed playing that for a bit. It was a bit of a strange thing. It's like kind of a half, wasn't it? It was 3 nylon strings and then 3 steel strings, which I thought was going to be a strange, really strange combination, but actually was very pleasant to play as a guitar in the house, but did make me play differently. I was playing more picking, finger picking, you know?
When something makes you play quieter, you play differently, draws you in a bit more, and you do different stuff. That's why we all should have 9 guitars. For all those different things.
Yes.
These are for people who are more used to acoustic players, steel string players. If you want to venture into the nylon world, something like a hybrid, which is a 14th fret, feels like the same size as a steel string. It's got a narrow nut width, and it's got a radiused fingerboard. Feels comfy, nylon sound. I think it's well worth a venture.
And are both these guitars, that's got a pickup inside, or it's got the...
It's got VTC.
The VTC.
Yeah, this has got Stage Pro. This one's got a little armrest here that we put on, which is nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
But our hybrids sell better than our classicals, actually. And it's probably because we're an acoustic brand, but we are going to continue with some development on these, so that'll be exciting. Shall we play, we'll do some more? I'm going to go and get my maracas and my clogs.
I'll go and knock up a couple of margaritas.
Even better. See you, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.